Hey now, Matt Labarber Music here, and today I'm talking to you about one of my very favorite songs, 3 Days by Jane's Addiction, which I'm sort of ashamed and not ashamed to admit was a song that I only really knew the intro riff for way too long. So I figured I probably wasn't the only person out there that this had happened to. So I decided to learn the whole song and show it to you. So it's a very long song, as you know. So there was probably some parts where I cut it down if it just is repeating the same thing over and over again. And you'll see that. I'll explain all the parts to you. I'll zoom in and show you to the best of my ability what I could decipher from the song itself. Before I do, I'd like to encourage you, if you haven't already, to please subscribe to my channel. If you already have, thank you so much. It means the world to me to know that people are watching these videos and appreciating all the hard work that I put into showing you my favorite songs on the bass. So, again, like, subscribe, give me some positive feedback in the comments. It really all means a lot to me. So let's zoom in and I will show you how to play this amazing song. So we got this main riff, okay, which is the most important part, and coincidentally the only part I knew for an embarrassingly long amount of time, which is really why I decided to do this video, like I said, because that's all I knew. And then I finally dove into it and was like, man, this song is incredible. But the main riff is amazing too. And we're starting with the open A string, okay? Sometimes I'll do a hammer on to the second fret of the A and either play it twice or play it 3 times. Just depends, because I kind of hear them go back and forth, but maybe I'm wrong. And then we're going up to the octave, which is 4 on the G. So far, right? And then there's this little hammer-on pull-off thing on the second fret, the open G, and then the second fret. So really, I'm only plucking once. I'm slamming my finger down on the strings and then pulling it off to get 3 sounds for the price of 1. And then I'm going to 4 on the D string. Okay, now I could get more in depth with that, but I'm assuming at this point you might know how to hammer on and pull off. So all together, and then we got back to the 0 and 2, and I think when I go to 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, right? So all together, we got 3 and 2 on the E string. So here's the whole thing. Sometimes you'll hear, I'll do a couple extra 3s and a couple extra 2s, because again, I feel like he kind of changes it. The rhythm is the main thing, right? And there are so many parts to this song, so don't rush through any of them. Take your sweet time, just learn one thing and then go back and add in the other thing, because it's really too much to digest, but I'm going to do my best to show it to you. Okay, so this is the main riff, and fun fact, this is how I used to tune my bass before pre-snark, or pre-pedal tuner, because I couldn't afford one. So it was the only riff I knew that used all 4 strings. So good thing to know, right? You should know what that sounds like, and then you can always tune to it. Okay, so that is the main riff in the verse. It happens a zillion times, really like a lot. And then the first time there's a real change, it's the shadows of the morning light, that part, right? So, because even when it's I am a proud man, it's the same riff, right? So the shadows of the morning light, that riff. It starts with the second fret on the A string, and he actually plays it like a power chord. He plays 2 and 4 at the same time. So 2 on the A, 4 on the D. Avery is very melodic and does all these cool little things, you know, that are not typical of a bass, right? That's why I love him so much. So then it really goes to this open 5th string, which is an A, right? But he's got this riff that goes in between the open A string and then 7 and 5 on the D. So 7, 5, 7, 7. So we got this. Isn't that cool? And then it goes back to, the first time around it goes back to, sorry, we got, goes back to the main riff. So there's the B, and it really like changes the main riff a little bit by doing, right? It does a quicker hammer-on pull-off thing, and then really it does another power chord, right? The open A string and then the second fret on the D. So I know that's a lot. I'm gonna go through it again. We got the, and then back to this power chord on the second fret, and then he goes to 3 on the E and 2 on the E. Okay, that's the One Night I Met a Whore, right? So I'm going to play through that whole thing one more time. Okay, a lot to digest there. So again, like I said, take it in pieces, you know, rewind, play those parts over and over again. Like I said, I think I explained it pretty well. If I did, you should be able to play it all, but you know, playing it all at once is a lofty chore, right? And then, so after that, it'll go back to the main riff. Many, many times, right? And then it goes back to the same riff that we were doing before, the one with the power chords, but it's different this time around. This is the shadows of the morning light, right? But what they do this time around is they'll start on this thing, right? And then, you know, with the 2 and the 4, the power chord, and then still doing this. But then goes to 7 on the A and then open E at the same time. So we got, right? And then there's this really cool riff all the way up here on 14 of the G string, then 17 and 16. And that's just like a fill, right? So we got, then it goes back to this B again. And then this. And hangs on this 2 and 4, okay? I know, it's a lot. So that's the first half, okay? I'll do it again. So this. And then the fill here. Right? And then they do it a second time. Same sequence. And then the fill here. And then we got. And to get out of it, there's this cool little thing, okay? Where again he's playing a like full power chord. I'm 7 on the A string, 9 on the D, 9 on the G, right? And he does, if you play it all together, that's what it sounds like. It's pretty cool, right? But again, he's not playing it all together. He breaks it up into single notes, right? He'll play the D string, and then 1 on the A, and then goes up to the G, and then that open E, right? So instead of it being all, you know, those notes together, there's breaking it up that way. So again, D string, A string, G string, open. Ooh, okay. So again. And the lights were one, shadows of the morning. Until the shadows were one. Okay. Whew, it's a lot. It's a lot. Now, the hunt is over, no hurt to follow, that part, right? So this riff, they play so much, but then there's like some variations on the rhythm, okay? That's where it gets challenging. But it's really open E, 7 on the E, then 5 and 7 on the A string. Then it's going to go open, 7, 5, 7. So, okay, and I'll do that slow. Okay, fast. And then medium. And that happens so many times. Okay, and then really when it ramps up, okay, it's the same riff, but they play extra notes, okay? It's like it's super intense, and it's like, so do you hear the variations? I'm going to play it slow. Okay, it's the same set of notes, but sped up, it sounds. It's really hard to do. Well, it's not that hard to actually play that riff, but at that speed over and over again with those variations, you know, that's a challenging thing to do. So it's either the one with less notes or more notes as it goes up or down in intensity, right? But then eventually we get a break and we just get to play this open E string for a really long time. So just playing this open E until the erotic Jesus, right? Then that riff is 2 on the A, open A, 3 on the E, and then open E. So erotic Jesus. Okay. Then there's this weird riff, which again, I listened to it a bunch of times. I'm not 100% if I nailed the rhythm. So I play open E, and then I play 7 on the E, and 5 and 7 on the A. Okay, so again, here it is. Okay, and I'm going to do it slow. Again, I can't vouch for that being 100% accurate. It's kind of hard to hear because there's so much stuff going on in there. But that's what I did. Okay, so right, something kind of a variation on that, other riff that we were playing before. So okay, so I'm going to leave that part up to you. So it goes, does that riff a bunch of times, right? And then it goes up to this cool thing where there's that break, right? Another crazy melodic Eric Avery part. He's playing open D and 11 on the G string. And then 12 on the G and 9, right? So all the while you're playing that open D string. And then it slides up to 14 on the G. So we got and same thing. And then this is weird. It goes to 14 on the D, and then kind of this open E string at the same time. So and there's this little riff where really we're playing 14, 13, 11 on the G string. So this is after the Mary. And then it goes down to 12 on the D. Now I know this is a very confusing explanation, but it's a very confusing part. I'm going to try to play right. It's all in there. The rhythm of it is a little bit odd, but those are all the pieces of that part. And again, it only happens for it barely happens in the song. So it's a lot of work for like this 2-second part, but it's very beautiful and definitely worth the effort. So hopefully I explained that pretty well. back into the oh my or oh my Mary, back to that riff, right? The 2-0-3-0. But then this time around, it goes into the all now with wings, right? So when it goes to all now, right? It goes to 3 on the A, 5 on the A. So all now with wings. And then open E, right? So then when he counts off the 1, 2, 3, 4, right? I'm just playing open E, 1. So we got that open E thing. And then he does, you know. This riff, again, I can't vouch for its accuracy 100%. But I know he's using this open E, the 3rd fret on that E, and the 5th fret on that E, right? So I did something like that in the video, but I don't know that it's 100%, you know. Again, it's really hard to hear. But if I was playing it live, I would do something like that, and I think Eric Avery would forgive me. So I was playing 0 and then 3 and the 5. So you play that riff 4 times, and then it jumps up to 3 on the A, and then 5 on the A. It's going to go through that sequence 4 times, right? This is 3, 4. This is the second timer. Fourth. So that's how I'm counting it. This would be the 3rd time. On 7 on the A string, and we go back to that chord. And that's how the tune ends. It's just playing do 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 do. Notes from inside of that chord, 7, 9, 9, and 0, right? So So those are all the pieces. You'll see the performance, you know, to put them together. And, you know, just remember, I had to do them all one at a time. I had to make a map for myself, you know, of what goes where, which one is which, and then eventually I was able to play through the whole tune, but it took me a while. But you know, you have me explaining it to you, so hopefully it won't take you as long as it took me to figure it out by myself. Thanks again so much for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. I hope you had fun learning this song and that you'll have fun playing along. Again, I'd like to encourage you, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. If you already have, I appreciate you so much. You know, like the video, comment, leave me some positive feedback in the comments. You know, you can check out mattlabarbermusic.com to see some of the other cool stuff I got coming up. And speaking of coming up, there's always a video that I did popping up from the past. Check that out too. Thanks again so much for watching. Happy bassin', and I will see you in the future.